Welcome everyone to the AI Accelerator's NexiGig platform. Look, if you're hearing my voice right now, it means you've made a really fundamental, game-changing choice. So first off, congratulations. Seriously.
That's absolutely right. This moment, it isn't just about, starting another course. It's really a validation of a conscious, quite powerful decision that you've personally made.
Yeah.
Think about it. In a world that's just saturated with noise, right? The constant pings from social media, endless distractions fighting for your focus, you actually chose to carve out time, real time and energy, and dedicate yourself to practical, real-world application.
Hmm.
That intention, that specific prioritization, well, that's the absolute first step towards really succeeding in this field. It's crucial.
Couldn't agree more. You didn't just choose to learn about AI, which is passive. You chose to build with it actively.
Exactly.
And to do that, to really do it well, you have to acknowledge the monumental shift we're all witnessing right now. We're not just experiencing fast change anymore. This is change at an unprecedented velocity.
Unprecedented is definitely the perfect word for it. I mean, the technological landscape isn't just shifting. It feels like it's morphing almost hourly sometimes.
Right.
Just think about the tools you might rely on today. A new large language model gets released, and honestly, often within, say, 3 to 6 months, it's already been superseded. Something faster, more capable, or just fundamentally different comes along. We're literally living right at the epicenter of probably the most significant technological disruption in history.
And that's really what we're congratulating you on. It's that strategic decision you made to move beyond just, observing this disruption from the sidelines.
Yeah.
You're here because you want to become an active participant, a creator, actually a driver of this acceleration.
So maybe just pause for a second. Absorb the gravity of that decision. And give yourself that credit, seriously. Pat yourself on the back. You've chosen to accelerate your career, step up, and become one of the truly essential builders of this new AI era. And, well, we're absolutely thrilled to be here to guide you on this journey.
Okay, so let's unpack that reality a bit more, the reality you've just chosen to step into. Let's talk about the AI context, maybe just the last 3 years. The scale is just massive, right? AI is definitely not some niche technology anymore. It's the infrastructure.
It really is the new foundation. You hit on the crucial point there. Without an AI layer baked in, today's products and services, they just feel incomplete, don't they?
Totally.
Every company, every single product, every service out there, from, huge global banks down to tiny local startups, they're all integrating AI just to maintain a competitive edge. It's everywhere.
Exactly. This is no longer some kind of luxury or, an optional add-on feature. In the modern economy, adopting AI has basically become synonymous with survival. If you're not leveraging AI for efficiency or for automation or maybe just for enhanced decision-making, you're already falling behind. That curve of technological disruption we mentioned, it isn't just steep, it's practically vertical now.
And that acceleration, it's really being driven by these massive advancements in hardware, particularly GPUs, right? And correspondingly, the scaling of model size and performance has just exploded.
Right.
This velocity means that those traditional, maybe 4-year learning cycles, they're kind of obsolete now.
Yeah, totally.
If you wait, you just get left behind. The real power of this platform, this program, is that it forces you, in a good way, to learn and apply at the speed the industry is actually moving. It positions you not as some passive spectator just watching things happen,
Right.
but as a creator, someone actively defining what the next wave of disruption looks like. You're in the driver's seat.
Now, to really grasp the importance of your role here as a builder on this platform, I think we need to zoom out a bit. Let's look at the history, the evolution of how software has actually been built. There's this brilliant researcher, Andrej Karpathy.
Oh, yeah, brilliant mind.
He laid out this really useful framework that helps define where we are right now. It's this journey from software 1.0 through 2.0 and now into what he calls software 3.0.
A very neat way to frame it.
Let's start with software 1.0. This is what Karpathy calls the age of explicit instructions. Think classical programming, C++, ACK, Java, Python. This is where the developer, the human, manually translates every single complex human logic path into precise, machine-readable syntax.
Every single step.
Every step. If you wanted the computer to do something specific, you had to define the exact if-then-else logic, meticulously, line by painful line sometimes.
And that took immense specialized knowledge, right? That whole era, I mean, it was foundational, obviously, but it was really constrained by human speed and, frankly, our tolerance for managing that kind of complexity.
Absolutely.
Then came Software 2.0. This was the neural network revolution. This marked the real beginning of machine learning, deep learning as we know it.
Okay.
And here, the engineers sort of stopped writing all that explicit logic. Instead, their focus shifted. It became about curating these vast labeled data sets and designing really sophisticated neural network architectures.
So the task changed.
Completely. The real shift was in how the program itself was generated. The machine essentially optimized itself, usually through something called gradient descent, basically a process where it iteratively corrects its own errors based on the data it sees until it learns the underlying patterns.
Ah, good.
So the program wasn't the source code written by a human anymore. It was actually the billions of learned weights, those connections, inside that massive trained network.
Wow. That's a huge shift in control, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moving from human-defined rules to these sort of data-defined patterns. Yeah. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Moving into the era that you, our learners, are entering right now. Software 3.0.
Yes. The revolutionary leap. This is what Karpathy calls programming in plain English, and it's powered by these massive large language models, or LLMs.
Right.
The truly groundbreaking realization here is that these general-purpose neural networks, because they've learned so much about human language, about context, about knowledge in general, they are now programmable simply through natural language, through English.
Okay, but how does that actually happen? I mean, it sounds a bit like magic, programming in English, but it's really a technological abstraction, isn't it?
It is. It's pure abstraction, taken to the next level.
Yeah.
We've moved so far beyond needing to know the specific machine syntax that the core technical insight, the real takeaway, is this. The prompt is the program.
The prompt is the program. Okay.
We're not just feeding it data anymore, we're giving it intent, our intent expressed in human language. And we use techniques like few-shot learning, where we give the model just a couple of examples right there in the prompt itself, or something called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
RAG. Yeah, hearing that a lot.
Where we basically feed it external specific knowledge through the prompt. These techniques allow us to steer this incredibly complex system to perform a very precise, often complex task. We're literally communicating with the machine at the level of human-readable goal definition.
So, okay, let me see if I get this. Instead of, say, meticulously writing hundreds of lines of Python code to parse a really specific, maybe messy invoice format.
Right, a classic tedious task.
You can now write a detailed, sophisticated prompt in plain English, asking the model to do the extraction, the classification, maybe summarize it, and the model itself does the underlying logic work for you.
Precisely. We've essentially abstracted away the need for the engineer to manage every single weight or define every single logical pathway within the network. The focus shifts entirely. It becomes about defining the intent clearly and then optimizing the conversation you have with the model. That is the ultimate abstraction layer. And that's really what defines the incredible opportunity for you stepping in as an AI native engineer.
And, you know, this vision, this idea of programming in plain English, it's not just theoretical. It's being validated right now at the absolute highest levels of the tech industry. Just look at what Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, has declared.
A true visionary.
He said, and I'm quoting here, "It's our job to build computing technology such that nobody has to program and that the programming language is human."
Wow. He essentially announced the retirement of specialized coding languages as the primary way we interact with computers. He even stated it bluntly later, saying, "There's a new programming language now, and it's called human."
Incredible.
And Andreas Karpathy, who we mentioned earlier, he echoes this exactly. He predicts that English is, in fact, becoming the new universal coding language, simply because LLMs have fundamentally changed the kind of input required to generate sophisticated software output.
And if we connect this vision to the bigger picture, it's not just talk, right? It's actually being implemented by the global tech giants as we speak.
Yeah.
Think about Satya Nadella at Microsoft. He's often stated their core mission is to empower everyone on the planet to achieve more.
And the tangible realization of that mission, we'll look at tools like GitHub Copilot.
Right, Copilot.
Copilot literally translates those English intentions. You know, the comments you write in your code, your function descriptions, the outcomes you say you want, it translates them directly into functional code. It takes that human conversation and transforms it into the machine output. It makes incredibly complex tasks instantly more accessible.
So it's bridging that gap.
Exactly. And Amjad Masad, the CEO of Replit, he captures the scale of this democratization just beautifully, I think. He explains it like this. The mainframe era, that was for experts only, right? Very few people.
Sure.
Then the PC era came along, which democratized access to computers for pretty much everyone, but it didn't really democratize the ability to code them. That still remained a specialized skill.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But now, he says, we're entering the AI agent era.
Yeah.
And in this era, everyone can potentially become a builder simply by talking to the machine, by having that conversation.
So for you, the learner listening right now, this means the very nature of software development has transformed. It's shifting away from just memorizing syntax or painstakingly writing complex low-level logic. It's becoming much more about defining the high-level architecture and then having a really sophisticated, precise conversation with your computer, with your AI tools, to generate the solution you need.
Okay, let's try and ground this big idea of democratization with a more tangible analogy. Let's think about complex software development like preparing a really fancy gourmet meal.
Okay, I like analogies.
All right. So maybe a decade ago, preparing a sophisticated software application was incredibly difficult. Like being a top chef, right? It required formal training, a deep, deep knowledge of every single component, like a professional chef needing to master every ingredient, every technique, and you needed specialized tools in the kitchen.
Right.
Only developers with years of specialized computer science training could consistently deliver that high-quality, complex software. It was a high barrier to entry.
That maps perfectly to software 1.0 and maybe early 2.0.
Yeah.
Definitely a high barrier.
Exactly. But today, think about cooking today. It's been massively democratized, hasn't it? Pretty much anyone can be a decent, efficient home cook now, capable of creating some really amazing meals without years of culinary school.
True.
You have ready-to-use ingredients readily available. Think of those as your APIs, your cloud services, your powerful pre-built libraries. You have step-by-step recipe videos just a click away. Those are like your tutorials, your community knowledge bases like Stack Overflow. And here's the key software 3.0 component. You have these advanced meal kits delivered to your door, right? Think of these as your AI-powered developer assistance tools like Copilot or ChatGPT. The AI, the meal kit, handles the tedious prep work, measures out the basic ingredients, maybe optimizes the simple steps, fills in the gaps for you.
Okay.
So anyone can now build a pretty decent application with the right tools, just like anyone can cook a great meal with a precisely designed kit and good instructions. It lowers the barrier dramatically.
I do appreciate that analogy. It makes it very clear. But I have a question. Doesn't that risk making the role we're training for, this forward-deployed engineer, sound maybe overly simple, like you're just following instructions from a kit? If the AI is doing the basic work, what really elevates the role from just being a cook to being a true chef?
That's a really critical question, and it gets right to the heart of the high-level judgment that's still absolutely required. Yes, the AI is like your unbelievably fast, efficient sous chef. It can chop vegetables faster than anyone, follow basic recipes perfectly. But you are still the chef.
Okay.
You are the one who defines the final dish. That's the business outcome you're aiming for. You choose the core ingredients, which APIs, which models, what platforms to integrate. And crucially, you're the one who tastes and adjusts throughout the process. That's the iteration and refinement phase, constantly checking against business feedback.
The tasting and adjusting.
Exactly. An AI might generate a function that's syntactically perfect, looks beautiful on paper, but if it doesn't actually solve the real business problem, or if it fails to integrate correctly into the company's messy existing legacy system, well, then it's useless, isn't it?
Right.
The chef's true expertise lies in that overall vision, the integration strategy, the quality control, and ensuring the final delivery actually meets the customer's need, things the AI simply cannot do on its own. It's a powerful tool, but it needs a master wielder.
That makes complete sense. The AI handles the how, but the human defines the what and the why and ensures quality. Okay, let's take that other idea, the idea of efficiency and sheer power, the acceleration, and maybe use a different analogy. Let's try transportation to describe the speed difference. Imagine you're trying to get across a large, busy corporate campus, and you have an urgent problem to solve on the other side. Option 1, you could walk. There's like writing every single line of code by hand, debugging manually, spending exhaustive effort on really low-level tasks. Definitely slow, painstaking, but maybe it guarantees purity or full control.
The old way.
The old way. Option 2, you could ride a bike. This is maybe analogous to using a modern IDE or standard developer tools. You're faster than walking, you gain some efficiency, but the manual effort, the pedaling, is still pretty high.
Better, but still limited.
Right. Option 3, and this is the mode of transport for the forward-deployed engineer we're talking about, driving a high-powered car. Using AI tools, Copilot, Sophisticated prompt engineering, building with agent frameworks, this is like driving a powerful, incredibly efficient, truly transformational vehicle. You can cover massive distances, complex terrain, at speeds that were previously just unimaginable.
Okay, so you've got this super fast car, and this raises that important skill question again, doesn't it? You've just been handed the keys to this very powerful vehicle. Now what?
Exactly. The AI is the fastest vehicle available, no doubt.
Oh,
But it still absolutely requires expert steering. It requires judgment. It requires knowing the destination precisely. If you don't know the rules of the road, let's say the best practices for prompting, for managing AI outputs, or if you don't know the exact destination, meaning the measurable business outcome you need to achieve, then all that power is just wasted. Or worse, it could be misdirected, causing problems.
right.
So your goal in this program really is not just to get the car keys. It's to learn how to expertly and safely drive this AI vehicle. It's about learning how to multiply your individual human effort exponentially by leveraging the machine's incredible power effectively.
Okay, so now that we understand this massive technological shift into Software 3.0, and we see the incredible leverage AI offers, let's talk about your identity within this new world, this new way of working. It really demands an entirely new type of professional identity. We call it the Forward Deployed Engineer, or FDE for short.
And this isn't just some fancy new job title, is it? It genuinely reflects a fundamental change in the required skill set, the way people need to operate.
Absolutely. It's not just semantics. The FDE is truly a hybrid professional, someone who naturally bridges different worlds. They need to be part software engineer, definitely, but also part consultant and maybe even part customer success specialist.
Interesting mix.
Yeah, they're not sitting isolated in some back office just writing code based on perfectly defined specs handed down from above. No, they operate directly at the intersection of immediate, often messy, real-world business needs and cutting-edge technical solutions. They're right there on the front lines.
So break that down for us. What are the day-to-day realities of this hybrid FDE role? What are the key responsibilities our students should expect?
Well, it's highly integrated, right? It requires almost continuous contact with the business side. Firstly, and maybe most importantly, you have to develop customer empathy. This means really sitting down with non-technical stakeholders, people in HR, finance, operations, and truly deeply understanding their workflow, their pain points, so you can translate those often nebulous business needs into concrete, actionable technical solutions.
That translation piece is key.
Crucial. Secondly, of course, you must design, develop, and integrate solutions. You're actually building the software, adapting it, using AI tools extensively, but critically, you're also integrating it into the often complex, sometimes ancient, existing IT infrastructure of the organization. That integration piece is often underestimated. Thirdly, you need to be ready to deploy and operate those solutions in real-world environments. This isn't just about coding on a clean test server. It means handling the friction of deployment, ensuring reliability when real users depend on it. And alongside that, the FDE must constantly communicate across functions. You're the essential bridge, translating technical jargon for the business folks and business needs for the tech side, managing expectations all the way.
Wow, that sounds far more demanding, honestly, than a traditional back-end development role. You're really asking our students to be outcome-driven, which moves way beyond just, shipping features on a roadmap.
It absolutely does. FDEs have to drive tangible outcomes. Their success isn't measured by lines of code written or tickets closed. It's measured by the delivered return on investment, the ROI.
Yeah.
Did your solution actually save the business quantifiable time? Did it reduce costly errors? Did it somehow increase revenue? You have to be able to prove that measurable value.
Right.
And finally, they need to provide field feedback. This means bringing those real-world deployment insights, what broke, what was unexpectedly hard, what worked beautifully well, bringing all that back to influence future platform development, future tool choices, maybe even future product strategy. It closes the loop.
What's really fascinating here is that this FDE role feels perfectly suited for this Software 3.0 era we've been talking about, because the speed and leverage provided by AI tools actually allow one person or a small team to realistically span those functions, consultant, builder, communicator, that were traditionally very separate roles.
Exactly. The tools enable the hybrid role.
So you're essentially training yourselves right now to become this new generation of hybrid engineers. People who can think strategically like a consultant defining the problem, build incredibly rapidly like a developer using AI tools, and then communicate the value effectively like a seasoned product manager. That combination, that's overwhelmingly valuable to literally any modern organization today. So let's bring all this context, all this potential, back to our core mission here. Why does this specific program, the AI Accelerator, actually exist? What is our singular driving core mission that should inform every single project you undertake? It's actually quite simple: to find real, measurable business problems and solve them using AI, period.
Yeah, we aren't here for, vanity projects or just abstract technical exercises that look good on paper but don't move the needle. We are here to create real leverage for the business.
Think about the massive, often hidden pain points simmering inside large organizations. You've got dedicated, smart teams in finance or HR or legal who are just bogged down by manual, repetitive, soul-crushing, time-consuming processes.
We've all seen them.
Exactly. Imagine a scenario. A critical procurement request enters the system, and maybe it takes 3, 4, even 5 days of manual data extraction, tedious verification, endless email follow-ups just to get it approved. And that delay holds up mission-critical work downstream. That kind of manual tedium, that's the specific pain we are here to eliminate.
And that sheer volume of manual cognitive work, it's probably the largest single drain on organizational resources today. And the friction it causes, it just increases exponentially as the business tries to grow and scale.
Precisely. Now imagine if you, stepping in as an FDE, could rapidly build an automation, maybe a simple custom AI agent that ingests that document automatically, extracts the key data points, verifies them against an internal database perhaps, and generates the approval request, all within minutes, not days.
That's the dream.
Right. If that one solution saves that specific team 3 days of manual work on every single request they handle, well, the value you just built starts multiplying every single day as the company scales. That is the kind of leverage, the impact you are here to learn how to master.
And this isn't just, a theoretical possibility. This is the proven impact of this program already.
Absolutely. We had a fantastic student innovator on this very platform, Rohit. He decided to tackle a massive, painful internal process, employee expense reimbursements. His solution involved building a complete end-to-end reimbursement platform.
Yeah, the key technical innovation there, the AI part. It used sophisticated AI models, fine-tuned for the task, to automatically extract and categorize really complex, highly variable data from hundreds of different invoice formats, PDFs, images, you name it.
Which sounds like a nightmare, man.
Oh, a total nightmare.
Yeah.
And his solution eliminated that tedious manual verification step, and it got rid of the constant back and forth email chains, the chasing people for approvals, all that tedium.
And the outcome. It was incredibly tangible. That single project, implemented initially for just one specific business unit, had a measurable real-world impact. We estimated it saved the business around $12,000, maybe 1 lakh rupees, in operational costs annually, just through labor reduction and speeding up the process. That is the standard of impact we're talking about. Measurable, valuable, and directly solving a painful business problem. That's what you are here to achieve.
Okay, so building on that, I want to be extremely clear about the nature of the program you are now entering. Given these high stakes and the direct business impact we genuinely expect you to have, this is fundamentally different from any typical internship you might have experienced before.
Right. A traditional internship, especially if you're in a large corporate setting, it often involves being handed like one small, very isolated ticket, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Go write this one function for this massive pre-existing project.
Yeah, the classic intern task.
You execute the command, sure, but you rarely get to see the bigger picture. You don't really understand the business context driving it.
Yeah.
You certainly don't feel true ownership over the outcome.
Precisely. And honestly, that approach tends to create coders, people who follow instructions, not really engineers who understand value creation. Here, on the AI Accelerator XD-Gig platform, it's completely different. You are involved from the very, very first step.
From scratch.
Literally from scratch. You'll be sitting down with the actual business leaders, the people feeling the pain, helping them define the raw, messy, often ambiguous problem they are facing right now.
Right.
You'll engage in rapid ideation, brainstorming potential solutions, thinking like a product manager. You'll need to manage stakeholder expectations, define what success actually looks like in measurable terms, acting like a consultant. And yes, absolutely, you will then build the final product like an engineer using all these powerful AI tools. You'll experience the entire end-to-end journey of building a successful deployed product.
Which means, let's be honest, you'll probably face resistance sometimes. You'll encounter scope creep. You'll deal with messy, incomplete data. These are the real, unavoidable challenges of actual product development.
Exactly. And that's why you are among the luckiest people, honestly, to get this level of direct, hands-on industry experience solving a critical business problem right from conception all the way through to deployment. Your role here, it is not intern. Forget that title. You are the core developers of your pod. You are the builders. And the code you write, the solution you ultimately deploy, will directly impact real people's daily work lives and, yes, the bottom line of the organization. That level of responsibility, that ownership, it's transformative, but it's also non-negotiable here.
Okay, so given all that, the accelerated pace, the high stakes, this real-world FDE environment, how do you ensure not just participation, but genuine success? It clearly isn't just about the technical tools you manage to acquire along the way. Success seems fundamentally rooted in your cognitive approach, your mindset.
Absolutely. The mindset is paramount. The first pillar, I'd say, is intention and curiosity. Think about it. We didn't select you based purely on your previous exam scores or having a perfect resume. You are here because you demonstrated that fierce choice, that decision we talked about earlier, and the unrelenting drive to learn by solving real-world problems.
Right. And that drive, it needs to be directed by genuine, deep curiosity. You need to look beyond just the surface level of a problem. Don't just ask, okay, how does this process currently work? Ask the deeper questions.
Yeah.
Why does this process even exist this way? What fundamental assumption are they making that AI could potentially challenge, maybe even make obsolete? If you show up every single day with that kind of intense, critical curiosity, honestly, the technical knowledge you need to actually solve the problem, it will follow. You'll figure it out.
That's so true. The second pillar, and this is very actionable guidance, is centered around embracing the rapid feedback loop. Feedback every day. There's simply no faster or more sustainable way to grow as an engineer, and especially as an FDE operating at the business interface, than through an intense build, feedback, iterate cycle.
Which means being brave enough to share work that isn't perfect yet, right?
Yeah.
Showing half-finished stuff.
Precisely. You need to get comfortable with that vulnerability. You will be interacting directly, constantly with the business owners who have the problem and with your mentors. This means reporting your progress daily, even if it feels small. Actively listening to their feedback, which, let's be honest, may sometimes be critical or maybe even contradictory. And then, crucially, continuously improving your solution based on that commercial context, that business reality.
Yeah.
You simply cannot build effectively in a vacuum here. The business owner ultimately defines what success looks like, and you need to iterate, often very quickly, until you deliver that measurable outcome they need, even if it means occasionally throwing away code and starting over based on feedback.
That's tough, but necessary. Okay, and the third pillar. This feels crucial for the collective success of the whole platform. Collaboration over competition. This program is designed to be inherently cooperative, not competitive. We are trying to build a cohort, a community of elite problem solvers who help each other succeed.
That means, practically speaking, if you discover some powerful new RJ configuration that suddenly handles complex legal documents perfectly.
Like a breakthrough.
Yeah, or you figure out a much better prompt template that finally solves that really tough data extraction task you were all struggling with, you are absolutely expected to share it instantly with everyone on your immediate team and probably with your wider cohort too.
And why is this sharing mentality so vital for us?
Because when that kind of knowledge is shared openly and immediately, when better prompts, clever configurations, or mastery of a new tool are disseminated right away, the results compound across the board. The collective output, the overall impact of the platform accelerates far, far faster than if everyone were just working in isolation, guarding their little secrets.
Right.
You actually win when your colleagues win. And collectively, as a cohort, we all achieve a much greater mission together. It's a win-win. So as we look at this required mindset and the demands of the FDE role, I think it's really important to highlight the fundamental professional skills you're going to need. It's designed to transform you into a truly business-ready professional, maybe in ways you don't even expect yet.
Yeah, we focused quite heavily on the technical acceleration, but what are those crucial interpersonal skills, those strategic capabilities that the FDE role really demands and that this program cultivates?
Okay, firstly, you will absolutely master advanced collaboration and teamwork, but specifically within a high-pressure, high-output pod environment. You'll need to learn how to rapidly delegate tasks effectively, how to integrate diverse technical contributions seamlessly under tight deadlines. That's a skill in itself.
Definitely.
Secondly, and maybe unexpectedly for some, you will gain unparalleled mastery in stakeholder management. This is just absolutely critical for the FDE role. You'll be regularly presenting your work to, sometimes negotiating with, and constantly managing the expectations of senior business unit leaders. People who might not understand the tech, but definitely understand the business impact.
And related to that, your communication skills are going to sharpen incredibly rapidly, aren't they? You're constantly in this position of articulating complex technical solutions to non-technical business stakeholders who, frankly, only care about the ROI. That requires real precision, clarity, and empathy.
Absolutely. And flowing from that, you will develop superior problem solving with business context. You'll genuinely stop seeing a problem primarily as a coding challenge and start seeing it fundamentally as a value creation opportunity. Does this solution actually create tangible value for the business, or does it merely function correctly on a technical level? That shift in perspective, that's what truly separates a good developer from a great, impactful engineer.
And finally, perhaps the ultimate takeaway from this whole experience.
Yes, the most important game, the thing you will absolutely walk away with, is this deep-seated confidence to build. Real confidence. Confidence that comes not from some academic certificate on the wall, but from the lived experience of actually deploying a solution that is running right now in a real business, delivering measurable savings or value every single day.
That's powerful.
It is. You will graduate not just as a coder who happens to know the latest tools, but as a genuine, real-world, value-creating engineer ready for immediate impact from day one.
So as we embark on this incredibly powerful journey together, here on the AI Accelerator NextD Gig platform, remember this core mission above all else. You are not here simply to learn tools. You are here to actively build the future of how work gets done.
You really are the first generation of truly AI-native engineers. You're the ones who can instinctively, naturally bridge that critical gap between complex, human-centric business problems and intelligent, automated, scalable solutions.
From today, right now, you are no longer just students passively waiting for the industry to change around you.
Yeah.
You are builders. You are innovators. You are change makers with direct agency, direct influence over real organizational efficiency and value creation. Your hands, your minds will literally shape how processes are automated and how value is created potentially globally.
It's a huge opportunity.
It is. So let's make this journey incredibly powerful. Let's commit to learning relentlessly. Let's create boldly, and let's accelerate together. Your journey as a forward-deployed engineer starts right now. Let's go build the future.